Hey, welcome back to The Science of Getting Rich Remixed, read by the author, Misty Barron. Here's Chapter 6, How Riches Actually Come. Let's be clear. Money doesn't fall out of the sky because you chanted the right affirmation or stayed up grinding until your eyes bled. Money comes because you learned how spirit designed the system and you worked it in a certain way. Wallace Wattles nailed the formula in 1910. Wealth comes when you give more use value than the cash value you receive. That's the law. When people hand you money, they must feel like they came out ahead, like they got more life because of you. The magnet of wealth isn't the transaction itself, it's the increase that follows. Value is the cause, money is the courier. Think about your own best purchases. That one book that reprogrammed your thinking, that one service that saved you hours of hassle, that one meal that left you laughing, nourished, and alive. You didn't just pay for the item, you paid for the life it multiplied in you. That's use value beating cash value every time. Here's where people block their own wealth. They focus on taking value instead of giving it. They cut corners, underpay, hoard, squeeze. They think wealth comes from getting more for less, but that's backwards. Wealth comes from giving more than you take. The business owner who underpays employees gets high turnover and low loyalty, costs that eat any savings. The freelancer who delivers barely acceptable work gets one-time clients, not recurring income. The person who hoards every penny blocks circulation, and spirit can't pour into a closed fist. You don't get rich by taking value. You get rich by creating it, multiplying it, circulating it. That's how the channel stays open. Wealth, in a certain way, comes through the formless substance. It's the raw material of everything. When you form a clear vision, impress it on the formless with faith and gratitude, and act in alignment, the whole field of creation responds. Spirit moves through all minds to bring it to you. Customers, clients, friends, strangers, even total unknowns. Ordinary channels, extraordinary timing. And here's where it gets wild. When you hold a clear mental picture of what you desire, with faith that it is already yours, the formless substance, spirit, source, the cosmic Wi-Fi we're all logged into, moves through all people, all places, all timing to bring it about. Yes, that usually looks like ordinary business. A client suddenly pays early, and that extra cash arrives the week you need it most. A job posting appears on LinkedIn the day after you decide to look. You mention a problem to a friend and they know someone who solves exactly that. A book falls off the shelf at the library and it contains the answer you've been seeking. These aren't coincidences, they're coordinated delivery. Spirit uses the existing infrastructure, businesses, relationships, timing, to move wealth towards you. You don't need burning bushes. You need open eyes. The woman who needed a car didn't win the lottery. She mentioned her need to a colleague, who mentioned it to a friend who was selling a reliable used car for exactly the amount she'd saved. But sometimes spirit flexes. Sometimes it looks outright miraculous. And yes, I know how this next story sounds, but I'm telling it anyway because it happened. Like the woman healing after illness who sang joyfully about money one day, making a mental note to buy bananas. She never ordered them, yet the next morning bananas appeared at her door. No neighbor admitted to leaving them. They simply arrived. Coincidence? Maybe. But more likely, evidence that joy, gratitude, and clear thought bend reality in your favor. That's not fantasy, it's law. When you sing in harmony with abundance, the universe finds ways, mundane or miraculous, to deliver. Modern proof. Consider gravity payments and the $70,000 minimum wage experiment. In 2015, CEO Dan Price cut his own $1 million salary to raise every employee's minimum wage to $70,000. Critics howled. Economists predicted disaster. Commentators called it naive. But the company thrived. Profits grew, employee loyalty skyrocketed, turnover plummeted. The business became stronger because people working there felt seen, supported, and advanced. The policy outlasted even the CEO who created it. Proof that the principle is what matters, not the personality. This proved Waddles right. Wealth does not come through squeezing or competing. It comes through advancing others. When employees advanced, the business advanced. The act of giving more use value than cash value multiplied back in loyalty, profitability, and legacy. Wisdom across traditions. All wisdom traditions repeat the same truth. Life multiplies where life is given. Jesus said, "Give, and it will be given to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over." Lao Tzu wrote in the Tao Te Ching, "The Tao is like a well. The more you use it, the more it flows." The Quran praises those who spend in ease and hardship as the ones beloved of God. Across traditions, the refrain is the same. The more you circulate, the more comes back. Gratitude and generosity prime the channel. Scarcity thinking clogs it. How to create use value greater than cash value in your life. You don't control what others charge you, but you control what you deliver. Here's how to ensure you're always giving more use value than cash value. If you're selling a product, ask, if this costs 3 times the price, would it still be worth it because of how much life it adds? If no, improve the product. If yes, you're creating real value. If you're offering a service, ask, does the client walk away feeling like they got more than they paid for? Not, did I do what I promised? That's baseline. But did I create delight, save them time, or solve a problem they didn't even know they had? If you're an employee, ask, am I delivering more value than my salary cost? This isn't about working yourself to death. It's about being the person the company would struggle to replace. Solve one problem nobody asked you to solve. That's use value exceeding cash value. The law doesn't care about your intentions. It responds to value created. Create more than you take and wealth finds you. Take more than you create and wealth leaves. So let's be crystal clear. Riches don't come by begging the government, undercutting competitors, or flattering investors. Riches come when you add more life than you take, when you circulate more joy than you consume, when you line up with the infinite's favorite activity, expansion. Do that and wealth will chase you down, not because you demanded it, but because you gave more use value than cash value again and again, until the law itself had no choice but to multiply you. What to do next? Audit 5 transactions. Pick 5 things you bought or received this month. For each, ask, did I receive more use value than cash value I paid? Write down what made the exchange feel abundant or lacking. This trains your eye to recognize value gaps and create them in what you offer. Spot wealth arriving. This week, pay attention to ordinary channels bringing increase. An unexpected refund, a client paying early, someone recommending you, a random idea that solves a problem. Write down 3 examples. You're training yourself to notice when the universe is delivering. Practice circulation. Money is meant to flow, not freeze. This week, circulate something you've been hoarding. Knowledge. Teach someone a skill, resources, lend a tool, or money. Tip generously. Support a creator. Notice how it feels to open your hand instead of clenching it. Spark query. Why is it that when I give more use value than cash value in everything I do, wealth multiplies back to me through channels I never expected? Thanks for hanging out with me. See you next week for the next chapter of The Science of Getting Rich Remixed by Misty Baron, available on Amazon. Hey, if you like this chapter, would you please like, subscribe, share with all your friends? They need to know how to get rich too. Sharing is caring.